Excuse me for not uploading for a while. I was at the top of Mount Everest with Master Shinzo learning the secrets of Spinjitzu.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Transformers has been hands down my favorite series ever since I was 4. I'm not gonna drop my whole life story on y'all, but one time my mom brought home the pilot episode for Transformers Animated, and even though I couldn't watch the rest of the series, I was hooked on that shit. So imagine my surprise when mom comes home and shows me a DVD of the first Michael Bay Transformers film. My mom saw this exact box art and said, yeah, that looks like something a 5-year-old would watch. And she was goddamn right. I played the fuck out of that DVD. When Revenge of the Fallen came out, I did the same thing. And again with Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. In fact, the only movie that I have a nearly pristine DVD of is The Last Night that we got from a Chinese lady selling bootleg movies at our local McDonald's. No joke, that was legitimately how deep in the trenches we were. I have Rio 2, the Angry Birds movie, and Kung Fu Panda 3, all recorded on some Chinese lady's phone and burnt onto a disc. I don't know why she did that when downloading the movies would have been easier, but maybe she was in the trenches too. For any feds who might be watching, this is not an admission of guilt. I own all of these movies digitally now, so yeah, checkmate. Fast forward today, and I'm sitting here shaking my head every time I hear about Transformers news. Anytime I see anything about Transformers, it's always either some random fucker on YouTube somehow getting their hands on and reviewing a toy that isn't coming out for another 3 years, boomers complaining about the Bayverse movies for the umpteenth time, except for The Last Night, I can't really defend that one, or an announcement for a new series or video game. We're going to be focusing on the latter two, and that brings me to my question. Why in the ever-loving fuck can't Hasbro make a decent video game for Transformers? Quick history lesson. Hasbro gave Activision the license to make Transformers games, and Activision, in prime Activision fashion, released 3 certified hood classics. Spoiler warning, these games are pretty old but also pretty gold, so I wouldn't want to mess up the experience for anybody. War for Cybertron. This game is pretty self-explanatory. The Decepticons want order, Autobots want freedom, so they're like, nah bro, we're just gonna leave. And then in the sequel, Fall of Cybertron, Megatron decides he's gonna stop the Autobots from leaving and make them pay for their crimes, partially because he knows they'll probably come back in the future for the run back, but also because his boyfriend Optimus Prime is leaving and he can't bear the thought of living on a planet without him. Oh yeah, and there's limited energon because Megatron killed the planet. Just a small footnote. And the final certified hood classic is Transformers Devastation, a hack and slash game that's really just fan service for the boomers in the audience who think it's dumb for Optimus Prime to have flames when in reality the justification of it looking raw as fuck should be more than enough. Okay, but real shit, these games are great, this game is great. You can play as Optimus Prime, Wheeljack, Sideswipe, Grimlock, or Bumblebee. Each one feels unique and overpowered in their own way, and the game is actually challenging, but not challenging to the point where you start to think that dangling off the chandelier is a better option than playing the game, unless you're on hard mode. Fuck hard mode. The Dark of the Moon game and the other movie tie-in games that aren't, the last one, the one that shall not be named until later, those could be bangers, but unfortunately, Sony paid for some Japanese salary worker to suck off the Hasbro boardroom and make it a console exclusive. And my PC is not capable of emulating PS3 games, so much so that the one time I did, it blue screened my computer twice. So this game could be a certified banger, but I guess I'll never know unless you guys subscribe and get the video pushed in the algorithm so I can get a better PC, please. Anyways, Rise of the Darkspark is a prequel to Fall of Cybertron that seeks to tie the War for Cybertron trilogy and the Bayverse together. That should have, and I argue would have, been very easy if they hadn't gotten greedy. The art styles are already pretty similar, gritty, although the Cybertronians are less detailed than they are on Earth, but you could just write that off as a side effect of them acquiring new modes that aren't native to them. I'm sure Hasbro could think of something. All they had to do was play a cutscene of the arrival scene from the 2007 movies at the end of the game and boom, movie tie-in. But no, let's dedicate half the campaign to fight in places that feel like open Gmod maps, fighting the same enemies as usual, except they transform into fucking Chevrolet pickups or some shit, and don't even worry about shifting the art style of the weapons to match the new, more realistic setting. Nah, they won't even notice. Oh yeah, the ending boss fight is dog shit. It's pretty obvious, even to someone who didn't develop the game, that the studio either didn't have enough time, enough money, or didn't care. but judging from how they hit it out of the park the first few times, I'm guessing it's one of the former. History lesson over. We haven't gotten a decent Transformers game in how long? Years. I'm 20 and I'm growing gray hairs waiting for this shit. And I know what you're thinking, okay? Is this grown ass piece of shit fucking nigga gonna sit here and whine and cry about his Robot Car Kids franchise not getting a video game? And to that I say, first off, who the fuck gave you the pass? And number two, I know your Marvel rivals ass is not talking. You out here eating good with the best hero shooter since Overwatch. Meanwhile, our game is out here getting canceled. Yeah, that's right, I said canceled. Transformers Reactivate is not happening. We don't even have a game no more. I'm over here grittying with Hatsune Miku in Fortnite. We're over here beating our high score in Devastation because we got nothing else to do. And no, I'm not playing the kids game from the show with the non-binary robot. Non-binary people scare me, okay? Alright? In this world, you're either a 1 or a 0, and they choose to be a 2. What in the quantum fuck? Also, I'm not counting collabs with mobile games or Transformers Galactic Trials, because this game looks like I could have made it myself in Roblox. Actually, no, the old Roblox games I played back in 2010 look better, because at least they have the excuse of being Roblox games made in 2010. Transformers is a franchise that puts asses in movie theater seats every few years, and this is what they cook. This shit is burnt. This is fucking sad. And it's not even free, because if it was a free game for mobile, I would turn a blind eye and just pretend it doesn't exist. But nah, this is a console and PC game released for like 20 to 30 bucks. I'd rather just commission a Twitter artist to draw me some yaoi of Optimus Prime and Megatron making out, because that would genuinely be a better use of my money. Fortunately, there is a glimmer of hope. And this glimmer is more like the flashing of a fire alarm in a school, in the sense that it's kinda good, but it spawned from something bad. Microsoft bought Activision, which is bad because now they own Halo, COD, Minecraft, Forza, basically half of the gaming industry at this point. But Activision didn't renew the license for the Transformers games, which is why you can't buy them anymore. Microsoft is rumored to be attempting to get the license back up, which isn't that far-fetched considering that they just had a collab with Overwatch. The Transformers X Overwatch collab, so the suits are definitely talking to each other. And this means that the servers for those games could come back online and they'll be able to be sold again, sort of like the older COD games. So while we don't have new games, we might be able to play the old ones again. Yay. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to talk about, how Hasbro has the ownership of my favorite franchise and keeps fumbling it. And whatever you do, Hasbro, please do not sell to Elon. If you like hearing me yap, then hit the YouTube buttons. Special thanks to the channel members, Refi and I Love Latinas, and yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.
This a 2G Glock, on the phone finna catch this 2G pop. I'm on tour pouring up every pit stop. Nigga reach for this chain, get shit pop.